everyone, and welcome to this conversation presented by White House Custom Color. I'm Jed Toffer. Thanks for listening. You know, my wife Vicki and I have owned and operated our photography studio, V Gallery, for 20 years now. White House has been our lab for the last 16 of those years, and we could not be happier. White House is a family-run business, just like ours. If you haven't already, check them out at WHCC.com. And if you want to drop me a line, feel free to email me at jed@WHCC.com. Brittni Schroeder finds joy in her art by doing good and making a difference despite suffering through tremendous tragedy. She believes that going through hardships can make us stronger, and that no matter what, we have a choice to be happy. It may sound much easier said than done, but I believe that Brittni walks her talk. Have a listen.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Brittni Schroeder. I have been I do the high school senior photography is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
So,
from where? Where are you from?
Well, I just moved from El Paso, Texas, but I just moved to Houston, Texas.
Oh.
So starting all over.
Right.
Yeah. So,
what was the cause of the move?
So my husband's job.
Yeah.
So
He got transferred?
Yep.
Right.
I got a new job.
A different job, right.
Different job. Same industry, different job.
In Houston's a bigger market.
Yeah, it is. So when I was in El Paso, especially because we're on the border, and then there's Fort Bliss, the Army base. So, we struggle a little bit with just, the medium income's not that high.
Right.
And so we're moving to Houston where it's like oil. And so I'm excited for the opportunity.
There's some money in Houston.
Yeah, there's definitely money. There's definitely opportunity. There's 8 million people in Houston.
Right.
So
it's big. It's like a spread out.
It's huge.
Gigantic place.
Yeah, for sure.
And seniors, you said seniors are your thing.
Yeah, I do high school senior photography. Mm-hmm. So, I do a little of everything. I'm open to everything, but if I'm going to market something, it's going to be high school senior. So I love that age. It's super fun. So
what was your topic on that? You just got done speaking.
So I just spoke.
People should know that. You just got done speaking.
I just got done speaking at Conference 12 in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I spoke on finding the joy in the art. And I think something that's really common to us as artists and as photographers is you get burnt out.
Yes.
And I think the older you get, the more it's harder to find balance in your life. And you kind of change and you're like, okay, my life, I've been doing this for however many years midlife crisis is legit a thing. And you get to where you're like, okay, I need to spend more time with my kids. Yeah. They're getting older. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot harder to find balance. It's weird. I used to talk on the phone to my girlfriends for hours when my kids were younger and, and you're busy because you're taking care of them, but it just seems as life changes, there's not enough time in the day.
Are you saying you get burnt? It's easier to get burnt out the older you get, do you think?
Yeah, I think you just reevaluate your priorities.
Yeah.
We hustle. We want to be, we want to have a career, we want to have successful. And then as we get older, we find that we value our relationships are what's like the most important thing to us. They bring us the most happiness.
When you're in a position where, so let's say you're in a position where you have some self-awareness that you're burnt out or you're going down that path. Uh-huh. What do you do to get back to the joy piece? Because that's what what you were saying.
That's
right?
what I'm talking about. I've had a few things in my life that have happened and you change your priorities. I actually am a certified life coach too. So okay. So you're an expert. I'm really big on like finding joy and.
So I'm asking you the questions now for myself.
Okay.
This just took a turn.
Let's. Did you want to lay down on a couch? Do we need a couch? Is there a couch?
There was a couch. I would lay down, but no. Now I'm even more intrigued, right?
Okay.
Because I didn't realize that. But you're a real expert in this. You're not just talking only from experience. You're also talking because you've had training in this.
Education and training,
and you know what's what. So now the question takes on a whole new meaning, and it opens up. Like when things are rough.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I think you have to kind of go back to foundations of what makes you happy. One of the things for me is, my family is really important. Tribe. Who do you surround yourself with? One of the things I had as I was speaking to the attendees at Conference 12, one of the things I challenged them to do is write a list of the top, and I'd heard this in a business book. No, it wasn't a business book. It was Making a Difference is the name of the book. I can't think of the author, but how he made a list of 7 people in his life who inspire him or make him want to be a better person. It can be your spouse, it can be friends. That he
knew.
People in your life that you are surrounded by. And you make a list of those 7 people, and then you write by their name, what is it about them that inspires you, or what about them do you love so much?
Okay.
And you make that list, and then you circle that list, and that is the person that you are striving to be. Because we are attracted to people, like, oh, I like them because they, I'm drawn to this person. They're super healthy because you want to be healthy. I'm drawn to this, I'm drawn to this person because they're super kind because you want to be super kind.
I'm thinking about
this
right
I know.
now.
So you got to evaluate your list, but it's also a good reflection on, are the people you surrounding yourself with, are they bringing you up or are they bringing you down? And so I think, as time progresses, as we get older, we want to be uplifted. We want to laugh. We want to feel good.
Yes.
Do you go to work or do you spend time with people and you go home and you're like in a bad mood, you're annoyed, you're like, do you come home happy or do you come home feeling not happy? So it's a good, but you also need to do a lot of self-reflecting. And one of the things that I've learned in my life coaching is you cannot control other people. You can only control yourself, your own thoughts. And so you have to get in a happy place, but there's things you can do to get there, and surround yourself with people who bring you up. And this kind of stuff, it reflects in your business. If you're happy in your life, your business will reflect that.
Right.
So
I like that. What you say, there are things that you can do.
Yeah.
And one of them is to surround yourself.
Finding joy. Another thing I talked about is finding joy in what brings you joy. I always joke because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of this stuff, but I always joke that my drug is traveling. And
you're a traveler.
I love to travel. I just got back from...
You get the wanderlust.
I love it. I just got back from Bali. We're going to Cuba. In
so
December.
You really travel.
Yeah. And then we're going to Morocco in the spring. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah. So we travel a lot. And I got so burnt out with photography that I got to the point where I'm not going to take all my gear. I don't want to take my camera. And I would take my iPhone and I would take pictures. Yeah. And, you can take great pictures with iPhones. But when I was rediscovering like joy, I started taking my camera again. And there's just something so like amazing about capturing something beautiful in a different country, a different culture. And again, it translates into your business because you are creative. When you're exposed to new experiences and new surroundings, it translates over into your business, and you find beauty in different things.
So traveling brings you joy.
Traveling, family. I do believe, I call it the cleanse. Do the cleanse. Get rid of things that bring you down. We talk a lot about social media. A lot of times, I'm really big on your thoughts, controlling your thoughts. You can't control other people, but you can control your own thoughts. And are you looking at social media? You can look at a great photographer, but say they make you jealous because they're in your area and they're shooting someone you want to shoot.
Right.
Okay, that is them. You have no control over them. You have control of your own thoughts. But if it makes you feel a certain way, out of sight, out of mind, you need to remove those things. Only do things that bring you joy and inspire you to be better. So
I like what you're saying. It's the one about hanging out with people that uplift you and making your list of people. If you're hanging out with people right now that aren't uplifting you, and that maybe someone's hanging out with somebody that's bringing them down.
Yeah.
What do they do?
What do you do? I mean, I think that you need to get a life coach.
Good plug.
But no, you have to learn. I once listened to, it was a podcast, I'm trying to think who it was, but it said, there's no such thing as toxic people. It's the feelings of toxicity that you create, so You have to be able to, you can't control other people. You have to control your own thoughts and say, like say somebody is, oh my gosh, here's an example. I'm around this person. All they do is complain, blah, blah, blah. That's what you're thinking. You need to think like, change your mindset to, oh gosh, they really have a lot of hardships, or they must really struggle in life. But you kind of just have to change your thinking. But it's also like, we have the choice to hang out with who we want.
Right.
I mean, we're adults. You make the choice. Sometimes you don't because you are forced to work with people.
Yeah, there's that.
You know what I mean?
That's different though.
Yeah, but then it's also just, you make the choice. Mm-hmm. And I think as me, I'm very extroverted.
Yeah.
But I feel like as I get older, I'm a little bit more introverted.
Is that right?
Yeah, I do. I feel like, I'm not that old. But
you don't seem very old to
I'm
me.
41, but I feel like I'm like 18.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So, but I feel like, I remember once somebody said you can count your true friends on one hand.
Yeah.
And I think as you get older, it might be a little bit more, but it's just, focus on your good relationships and instead of trying to fix all your bad ones.
And nurture that resonates with me quite a bit, actually, especially as I get older. Because I just feel like a lot of times, at the very least, I don't have time for it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience.
It's exhausting.
Or the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And you want to be around, I think this word is overused right now, but I still love it. Like authentic, real people is what you want to be around. It's people who you can 100% be yourself and feel like they accept you for that. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the life coach thing, because that was unexpected for me, especially considering your topic of is it finding joy or creating joy?
It's finding joy in the art. And I just, I basically talked about that we get burnt out, and then how do you find the joy again? One of the things that I have implemented in my business is I actually lost my son, my 14-year-old son last year, passed away tragically, and I started a nonprofit. It's called the Compassion Foundation. So the website is showcompassion.org. And he was just this amazing kid that was just like so kind and compassionate to other people. And so we started a nonprofit and we wanted his legacy to live on. And so we created these curriculums that we put in schools, but I wanted, how can I translate that over to my business? So one of the things I've done is lots of people do, they'll do like, model groups or whatever, where they do pictures for free for, the seniors to promote them. But I changed it up, and mine was called a role model group. And so I put out, I put out a model call like, hey, I'm taking applications for this role model group, and it's going to be a little different. We're going to be out serving in the community. Yeah. We're going to be out picking up trash. We're going to be in the old folks' homes. We're going to be at children's hospitals. We're going to be doing these types of things.
Right.
And, I put out the application, and I got a bunch of applications, and I accepted every single one of them.
You did?
Yeah. Because I didn't want to go against what I was working towards, which was compassion. And how can I say, oh, sorry, you are not good enough to be a part of this, And so I accepted everybody. I had a rocker chick that had half of her hair shaved on one side. I had a girl who had a feeding tube because she had medical problems. It was just really awesome. And we did a Mardi Gras party at an old folks home, and then we did shoots. And I just said, I wanted this to be my brand.
Right.
I wanted it to be about compassion and kindness.
Right.
And, of course I did the marketing where I'm like, hey, here's the hashtags, and you have to tag me, tag my nonprofit, and tag my photography. And, there's just something, it's great. There's lots of beautiful people out there, but inner beauty and when people serve is the most beautiful thing. And just to be able to capture that. So I've implemented that into my business, and just, I've learned, we can have the best education in the world. We can have money, but if we are not happy and we're not serving and giving others, we're never going to live like a full, happy life. We'll never find joy, So, yeah. So I always say what's the quote I use? I probably am going to kill it, but and I can't think of it, but just making an impact,
Yeah.
While making an income. There it is. Making an income while making an impact.
Okay.
So, I just think that goes a long way. And that's what I want I want that I don't want to be known as the person who takes good pictures, even though that would be awesome too. But I want to be the person who does good and, is making a difference. So
did the life coach, was all that previous to the Compassion Project?
It was actually after my son passed away. I wanted to, I was just looking for something positive, and I wanted hope. And I'd reached out to other people who had lost children, and it was just such a negative, like they were just like, oh, this is, it's horrible. Right. And I wanted hope. I wanted somebody to say, it gets better, like turn this into a beautiful thing. And so I started on my Instagram, I started kind of documenting my journey through grieving the loss of a child.
Right.
And people all the time was, you need to write a book, you need to be a life coach. And I just said, I want to help. I want to help somebody. I want to help.
Do you specialize in helping people through grief?
I mean, I'm still right now kind of at a newer, right. But I feel like I do want that to be my niche, is like working through tragedy.
Because that's a gift. I mean, it comes across to me. This is just what's coming across to me right now, hearing you talk and watching you talk, is that, you seem like different than what most people would be for some reason. Like you do so many positive things now as a result of such a horrific tragedy, when so many other people, like what you're saying, get mired or stuck.
Yeah.
And you, not that you haven't been grieving and aren't grieving, but
I grieve.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you're moving forward or pushing forward somehow. I
think too is nobody is immune to sorrow. I've never said, why me? Why? I mean, I've questioned, I just think everybody, I think that's life. We all go through really hard things. I have a friend who is going through divorce, and her husband had affairs and whatever. And she is in such a dark place. And I don't think you can compare each other's sorrows. I can't say, what I've gone through is harder than you. And I think we all go through it at some point in our life. Some people go at it, some people deal with it when they are my age. I was 40 when I went through like the worst thing in my life.
Right.
Some people go through it when they're 20. Some people go through it when they're 60, We all go through it. And so, we have to just move through it, and there's hope. And I wanted to turn something into a good thing. And I also I love my son so much. I want his legacy to live on. And I know that this is what he would want. This is his legacy of kindness.
Do you think the love for your son is the source of where you grab that attitude and that the ability to move forward that way? Yeah,
I think I've always, through life coaching, you learn not to be a victim,
Okay.
And so you don't want to have the victim mentality. And I think we all have kind of that victim mentality. We talk about even our childhood. A lot of people say, oh, I'm the way I am because I had this horrible childhood.
I've said that.
Yeah.
Well,
and
not that I,
You say I'm this way because
of something that happened. Yeah. The victim.
We have to change our thought. So, like I could say, I came from a home where my parents were divorced. I came from, not the best circumstances, but I'm the way that I am because of the circumstances I went through. So I am grateful for the way I grew up because I have had the success. I appreciate I have this amazing husband of 20 years and I appreciate it and I wouldn't have these things in my life if it weren't for my trials that I went through. So we have to change our mentality to appreciate the things we've gone through because it's made us stronger and better. It's hard to get out of that victim mentality, but your life will be better if you can.
That's an incredible perspective. Given everything that's happened.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my son. It's changed me in, some good, some bad. I've lost a part of myself, but I have found a part of myself too.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think you always, I'm horrible at quotes, but I always think of them, but it just said, without darkness, we wouldn't have light.
Yeah.
You know, did I kill that one? Do we know? Do we know what that one is? Okay.
I think I'm getting the gist of what you're saying.
Just pretend like I made that up.
Okay.
Quote by Brittni Schroeder.
Brittni Schroeder, put it below there.
Yeah. But no, I just think that we go through hardships to make us stronger. And, you know, like I said, you appreciate things too. You know, one of the things through this is I've really learned to love and appreciate my friendships that I have. Like I have some really amazing friends who have lifted me up when I couldn't even stand. And instead of focusing on, okay, well, this friend didn't call or this family member didn't call, you know, you focus on the good. You know, it takes so much less energy to focus on what we have. And I just think that it's just so important. And I have sad moments, of course, but I'm a happy person. And even to this day, you know, I don't look at the bad things. I look at the good things and say, I'm so grateful I have a husband and 2 kids, you know, because there's been people who have lost their entire families. And, you know, I just think I do think a little of it comes naturally to me. I think I'm innately a positive person, but I also think, you know, just having gratitude in life. So you're saying, I'm grateful for this instead of looking at the negative. So I'm not always positive. I'm not always like sunshine. Right. But I think these are tools that you learn, you know, I've learned through like life coaching and learning that it really is like we have a choice every day to be happy. We have a choice to find good. We have a choice to be kind. So
speaking from experience, which I know you can do, and with your life coach background, what is something that you would have to say to somebody that is in the depths of it right now? What is step one? Step one
is recognizing your thoughts, recognizing, you know, so we're taught in life coaching that there's circumstances that we have no control over that. And then the next one is your thoughts, and your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create an action, and the actions create a result. And I think it's just, you know, recognizing what's going on, you know, being able to say, okay, I feel this way because of this. And what are you going to do? Be a doer, you know? I think one of the things is I'm super motivated. I'm like, do stuff. And so, you know, when my son passed away, it was like, I know I need to serve. I know what I need to do to heal. I'm not going to, you know, I did spend a lot of time in bed and watching TV and escapism. I wanted to escape, but it was like, I also knew that if I served other people, I would heal. And so I think it's, you know, I'm just a huge advocate in educating yourself on everything. Yeah. You know, I love self-help books. I love anything that is betters yourself. And in fact, when my son passed away, people would send me these books and it would be people's stories about grieving. Yeah. And I was like, this is so depressing. Yeah. And then I said, I need some self-help books. I need to better myself, to better my situation, to better the way that I feel. Right. So I feel like when people are in the depths of it, the way to get out is work on yourself. How can you better yourself? Pick one thing that you're going to get better at and focus on that. So, and also I think recognizing, you know, getting certain tools of how to deal with things and a tribe. I mean, there's lots of things, finding a good support group, being educated.
Other people.
Yeah, totally.
Right. What you've been saying is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for
thanks for chatting with me.
I really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
For my nonprofit, it's showcompassion.org. And then my photography is Brittni Schroeder, Brittni Schroederphotography.com. Okay. So, yeah. So you can contact me. I'm on social media, Instagram. I'm all over the place. So
You're
you can
everywhere.
Find me. Yeah. So awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thanks.